Nur Atira binti Omar, and we will present a chosen case study project, which is a school building. Before I start my presentation, I would like to introduce my group members for the assignment, which is Muhammad Harshafiq bin Abdul Razak, Naim Azwan bin Azman, Arsha Afham bin Azhar, and the last but not least, Nadia Hakilah binti Hamid. The content for this slide include 3 main points, which is project background, construction plan and schedule, and the project cash flow. For project background, we decided to spell out the project details and parties involved in the construction project. Second, construction plan and schedule, which is a work breakdown structure well known as WBS, project critical path, planning tool that has been chosen, and 3 elements established. All this part will present by them. And the last main point for our content of this slide is project cash flow, which is S-curve graph and sawtooth diagram. Now, let's start our presentation with the introduction first.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Naim Azwan bin Azman. Today I would like to start the presentation regarding on our first assignment of construction project management. Firstly, did you know what is construction project management? Basically, construction project management is the technique required to successfully complete a project. Besides that, the quantity of housing required to complete various tasks, the standards of that accommodations, its cost, and the timelines of such accommodations are all factors in construction project goals. Therefore, a project cost management entails setting a budget and subsequently properly managing and assessing against that cost on a continuous basis. Cost planning is associated plan, producing suitable contract documents and advising on variations and claims as the project progress. Therefore, for this purpose, assignment is to provide a clear understanding of the relationship between project management, cost planning, and cost management in construction projects by reviewing pertinent information from various types of sources and relating it to the topics learned in class. These assignments will include the background of the selected case study projects, the project purpose construction plan and timeline, and its cash flow estimate as referenced by the project supporting documentations.
The project that has been selected for our case study is Pembinaan Kelas Kafah Masjid Kampus Sekolah Juru, Pulau Pinang, and I will pass to Nadia to point out the project details.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nadia Akhilah. Now I will continue the details of the project Pembinaan Kelas Kafah Masjid Kampung Sekolah Juru Pulau Pinang. The client of this project is Pejabat Pembangunan Negeri Pulau Pinang, and Zami Yusof Enterprise is the main contractor of this project. This project has estimated about 8,430,219 ringgit and 70 cent in tender contract. The performance bond is 42,160 and 99 cent, which is a 5% from the contract price. The GFA of this project is approximate 569 meters square. The contract period for the project is 12 months, which is start from 24 October 2019 and completed on 23rd October 2020. Here is the parties involved in the project. As stated before, the client is Jabatan Perdana Menteri Pejabat Pembangunan Negeri Pulau Pinang. The architect is Johari Architect. Civil and Structural Engineer is Pusaka Runde Sdn Bhd, and Quantity Surveyor is from AS2 Consult Sdn Bhd. As I stated earlier, the main contractor for this project is Zami Yusof Enterprise, and Mechanical and Electrical Engineer is from HME Consultant.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Harshafiq bin Abdul Razak, and I will continue the presentation about the proposed construction plan and schedule of our case study project. So, firstly, what is work breakdown structure? Work breakdown structure, or WBS in project management, is a method to complete a complex multi-level project. It is a way to divide and conquer large projects to get things done faster and more efficiently. The work breakdown structure is also a project management tools that make a step-by-step approach to completing large projects with multiple moving parts. Based on our case study project, the work breakdown structure Gantt chart was generated using the information from the project document contract. Our group has generated a Gantt chart to identify their timelines and to identify the project's progress. The first one is the work program. This is the work program for our case study project, which is Pembinaan Kelas Kafah Masjid Kampung Sekolah Juru Pulau Pinang. The Gantt chart shown the whole work program and the duration of each element of the project. After that, I'm gonna talk about the work breakdown structure of the project. So this is the Gantt chart of the breakdown structure for each element. As we can see, they are the table that summarize all of the duration works for each element. The first one is the preliminaries work. The total duration for preliminaries works takes around 50 weeks, starting from 1st November 2019 until 15 October 2020. The next one is superstructure works. The superstructure works is piling works, work below, and frame, which takes around 14 weeks, starting from 1st November 2019 until 6th February 2020. The third one is substructure work. The substructure work include internal floor, staircase, internal wall, external wall, and roof. Takes around 20 weeks, starting from 7 January 2020 until 21 May 2020. The fourth one is the finishers work. The finishers work may takes around 14 weeks, which start from 2022 May 2020 until 27 August 2020. The next one is the services work. The services work takes around 5 weeks, starting from 28 August 2020 until 1st October 2020. The last one is the other works, such as provisional sums works, which may takes around 2 weeks, starting from 2 October 2020 until 15 October 2020. Furthermore, I will explain about the critical path of the project. The critical path is a set of tasks that determine the estimated start or finish date of the project. The tasks that make up the critical path are often linked by task dependencies. The critical path refers to the sequence or order of scheduled activities that will make up the entire duration of a project. The critical path has a direct impact on the project's completion dates. The entire project will be late if any works on the critical path is delayed. As you can see, there are the critical path on our Gantt chart.
Thank you, Haris. Assalamualaikum. My name is Ashraf Fahmi Azhar. I'm going to continue with our presentation with my part, which is establish of project duration. For your information, there are various ways to estimation or relation of each activities on the site. For the project, we are using the top-down method where overall the project duration is be estimated from a previous project and then divided down into each of various tasks. So the three major elements for the example, which is first one is frame. The total are 6 weeks. Beside external wall, the total is 6 weeks, and the last one is roof. The total is 5 weeks. Next, I pass to Nadia to continue our presentation.
Thank you, Arshad. So now, I'm gonna talk about the planning tools that we use for our case study project. The Microsoft project was used to establish the work schedule for the project that we choose for this assignment. The use of Microsoft project is to deliver a work schedule that is organized and better explain the information displayed. The Microsoft project specialized in presenting graphs like S-curve and sawtooth, which also help to improve visibility of building activity progress. It is also required to offer regular updates on the status of each task being completed at the moment. So next, Nadia will continue the presentation about the S-curve of the project.
Thank you. Now I'm going to explain the project cash flow projection. So what is cash flow? Well, cash flow can be defined as the net amount of cash and cash equivalents coming into and going out of a business. In the cash flow, there is inflow, which is cash received, and outflow, which means money spent. Fundamentally, a company's capacity to produce positive cash flow, or more specifically, its capacity to maximize long-term free cash flow, determines its ability to create value for shareholders. FCF is the amount of cash that a business generates from its regular business operations after deducting any money used for a capital expenditures. Here we got two tables of cash flow. The top is assumption of the cash flow and below is the actual cash flow. On the assumption, the total net income is 27,292 ringgit and 32 cents. On the table, we can separate into two sections, which are the income and expenditure. The actual total payment is 694,018 ringgit and 2 cents. the cumulative total payment is 4,625,625 ringgit and 8 cent, and the actual total net income of the project is 81,648 ringgit and 38 cent. Next, I'm going to explain about S-curve. So what is S-curve? The construction S-curve is a tool used by construction companies to track a particular measurement over time. It is a graphic report that shows the cumulative progress of a project. A construction S-curve is used in all types of project management to ensure that the project is proceeding as planned and will be completed on schedule and within the budget. Here is the S-curve for the project. The blue line in the graph represents the tender price or the assumption, and the orange line is the actual construction cost. The break-even point is in the 11th month. Before the break-even point, the contractor had to use his own capital or fund to spend to the project. And after the break-even point, the contractor received the payment and gained a profit from the project. The profit of the project is the 10% of the contract price. Now I'm going to explain the construction method that have been chosen that have influenced the S-curve of this project. Modern construction methods have been chosen for this project. Due to the good planning of this project, like the design and site planning have resulted this project to be completed before that of issue. Also, the good planning in this project have the result of site activities run smoothly and sustainable. Now I would like to invite Naim to continue our presentation.
Thank you, Nadia. Next, I will continue on sawtooth diagrams. In general, sawtooth diagram shows how income adjusts to a change in aggregate demands. Therefore, the functions of sawtooth diagrams is used to keep track of the financial statement for a project, depicts how the inventory level of a project change over the time, and used to express the time or durations of a project as well as the cash that inflows and outflows the project's financial account in a line chart. The diagram on site clearly shows the project's break-even point, payback periods, finance requires, and profits. For the first, which is break-even point, in general, break-even points known as the point at which total revenue and total costs are equal. In simpler words, break-even point is to determine the number of units or amounts of revenues that's needed to cover the total costs. Furthermore, the break-even point gives many functions for the construction players or developer to provide the information needed to make critical decisions about pursuing a specific project. Besides that, the break-even point can also assist managers in more effective allocating personnel and physical resources across the production line, as well as forecasting the return on investment. For easy understanding, the function of break-even point is to determine when a company will start to produce a profit. Based on sawtooth diagram, the break-even point indicated the lines that are parallel and non-parallel points that show based on the project before we can get the total amount of expenses and profit at the end. Last but not least, by having a cash flow forecast and break-even point in a sawtooth diagram can help the contractor to predict and plan for periods or positive or negative cash flow in the projects. Next is payback period. Payback period is the amount of time it takes for an investment to recoup its initial cost. For better understanding, payback period is the time it takes for an asset's net cash outflow to repay the amount invested in it. There are two main functions of payback periods, which are assist in making the value of an investment by determining how quickly the initial outlay pays for itself, and can be used to estimate investment risks in the early stage of project management. Based on sawtooth diagram, the payback period denotes the time period during which the contractor will receive the money spent during the expenditure periods that was claimed via the monthly progress claims. Other than that, the graph down in sawtooth diagram shown as negative value, in which depicts a situation in which money outflows the contractor financial accounts. To cover the negative value, the contractor will use funds from a variety of sources, including financial companies, bank, and self-fundings. That's all from me. Thank you. Next, I will pass to the next presenter, Atira.
Thank you, Naim, and I will proceed with another element for sawtooth diagram, which is financing and profit. Financing is the process of supplying capital for commercial ventures, purchase, or investment. Financial organizations like banks are in the business of lending money to individuals, business, and investors so they can fulfill their objectives. Besides that, the term of profit in accounting refers to the financial gain that is made possible when the amount of work complete and the expense incurred by the business. The types of profit that can be measured, which is gross profit, operating profit, and the net profit. The contractor for this project, which is Zami Yusof Enterprise, needed to apply for a loan from Bank Muamalat. In order to proceed with the construction, they need money to roll the construction project without having any problems. In the early stage of the project, the contractor will not be paid in advance, and each month that the work is complete, the contractor can claim the money, and in the final few months before the project is finished, the contractor will receive all the money that he borrowed from the bank, allow him to repay the lender. Zami Yusof Enterprise, which is the main contractor for this project, will begin to profit in months 11 to 12. The COVID-19 pandemic, which occurred as the project was being complete, that causes the contractor's profit to come in a little later than expected. That's all from me, and I will pass this slide to Arshad to conclude this presentation.
For the conclusion, the project named Pembinaan Kelas Kafah Masjid Kampung Sekolah Dulu Pulau Pinang takes 12 months to finish. This two-story building is for education purpose in primary school. The tools to create work breakdown structure WBS is Microsoft project including all elements except the earthworks and external works. The workflow includes both a critical and non-critical path. The break-even point for this project is approximately at 11th month. The total expenditure for this project is 843,290 ringgit and 70 cents. The total profit for this project is 42,160 ringgit and 99 cents, which is 5% from contract price. That's all for us. Thank you for your attention regarding our presentation. Assalamualaikum and have a nice day ahead.